小不平。啦噜啊呀啦噜啊，啦噜啊咿呀噜啊，咿呀噜啊。
Salve omnis, tibi gladius ago procora. Ni jinten guada hama, or the riza hamhao, anc mane linguam latinum, mihi opus estuoso. Shanzai wo zai lianchi putan qua, wo bu liu li, wo xiang chang wei, wo mei tian shui shi, shui dao ji dao, wo zhi dao wo zai jinbu, wo nang ting dao. Although this makes me a little vulnerable to discuss, no me importa. I think it's obvious that I've had a very significant journey with Chris's music. I won't be putting it on camera. It's personal to me. It has nothing to do with sex. I know she's hot as fuck, but I've always been able to see past the skin and hear the words. I've always got a lot of judgment for being a fighter. And when I seemed to be getting away from her music, doing other things, something would just happen and she would just be there again. As a quick example, I was praying for vocal help and I got it. It wasn't ideal help and I was hesitant to take it, but I took it and she was amazing help to me. Turns out she was a big Christina fan and we ended up singing a lot of Chris songs together, which was a big help to me. We did a lot of Just a Fool. And the family I was really close to from Hong Kong, I went to their house for the first time. I wasn't really listening to a lot of Chris at that time, but when I went to their house, their teenage daughter was a fighter, and we got to talking, and those are just two quick examples, but there's a lot more. And when the time was right, because I was a fighter and such a huge fan of Chris, I was able to appreciate all these other women from around the world that were singing in other languages, but similar in their music. The timeline in reference to my experience with Tai Yilin is actually, I was learning Mandarin. I was already shamed off the internet for trying. I met my friends from Beijing, and I miss them so much. But anyway, so I met my friends from Beijing. I was getting a lot of judgment for singing Mandarin and learning Mandarin, but I was used to the judgment from being a fighter for so long. And that's when I discovered Deng Lijun, and I read all about her life and the things that she did. And that was very, very useful to me in what I was doing and what I was experiencing at the time. Then I discovered 太乙宁，它改变了我的生活。我必须尝试。There's even some songs that I have to skip if I'm in the supermarket. 因为我知道我必须跳舞。这是真的，我爱它。And one more thing about this before I go. I remember getting a notification on my Spotify in 2020 that said I was in Joe's top 0.0001% of listeners. Now, I'm pretty sure that translates to you have listened to Joe more than anyone in Canada this year, possibly on the planet. And Shiji Shang, if someone on the planet did listen to her more than me that year, 我不知道如何. It was on constantly. I drove people on my Facebook crazy. 我知道. Tian sa Yiwan, Muje Jana Chahi. Gracias nuevamente por su interés. Elini achapi ke thetiki anarase olus. Deuvoniki danyavadalu. 睡得好. Bonum noctis. When my heat kicks in, it looks like the Greece flag is waving in the wind, and the cross on it pops out. Torhapo. Sing no me. I'm busy. But been a figo. I'm hoping to be back online again later today. Affari sto yaton endi affaron shu. Indio yutora. Kalimera Adelphia Kiedelfez. El piso na kimiti kiskala. Affaristo politon dio hiasimera. Affaristo yeton endi aferon shu. Sasakapo olus. I hope your Easter was well. I did a lot of work in the studio. I did end up getting to see one of my sons. We walked outside for an hour and talked. And that was more valuable to me than most other things we could do. I'm hoping to see my other son today. He was busy yesterday doing family things with the other side of his family, which I respect because from my standpoint, I want both of my sons to have family meals and things like that on occasions, like a lot of people have. But I can't provide that for them because on all those occasions I'm by myself. So I'm happy that they have their mother's families to enjoy that with and have that experience. I know it's generally a cliche that men are not expressing their feelings in different things, and I understand the cliche, but I believe that it is largely outdated. And I know a lot of men that are very comfortable with releasing their feelings and talking about how they feel, and we have to. It's not just okay, it's essential. We have to. We're just humans. The processes that go on with any of the emotions, like crying and being upset and being happy, anything from any spectrum, because I don't want to talk about different emotions, but the point of it is, those emotions are not gender specific. Any of them. They're all human emotions. Gender is a more specific detail of the human being, and it is important. But your gender does not determine whether you have the energies or not. You have them. My sons and I have no problem expressing how we feel to each other, about anything. And since I don't expect my children to take on my emotions and my energies and be me in that way, and I can just listen to their energy and listen to them talk about it and help in ways I can and indicate to them that I can't always help because a lot of these problems I encourage my children to figure out on their own within themselves. But of course, as their father and their dad, I'm more than happy to help them in that way. We all benefit from it. But until I have time to come back online again later today, affaristo yeton endi aferon shu. Trotekala kia paramente aisi yodaxe. Na ehis mier morfi miera. Elini achapi ki ethetiki en alase olus. Doxatetheokia pali. Lapina figo. En dio yotora. Ni hao, 谢谢你的关注，我希望你一切都好。我很好。不，我不学习，我在练习，我不流利，我想成为。I have to use it. 我知道你明白，谢谢你的帮助。我有话要说，我会说英语，我知道说普通话的人不多。Do you exercise? You should, to the best of your ability. I understand that everybody's body is different and has different abilities, and your mind has different interests, so you're going to want to do different things. You should find something that resonates with you in reference to getting your exercise. Obviously, when we're young and developing, everybody knows to make sure their children are active, but in case you don't, you need to keep that in mind for your children's well-being. They need to exercise. You can correlate it to a dog that doesn't get walked, right? They're going to get a little hyper and maybe act out, but in the dog's defense, it has a lot of energy that it's not getting an opportunity to deal with. So it becomes a bit of an asshole. It's not entirely the dog's fault. Well, it's the same thing. And then when you get older, almost like when you get out of school kind of thing, that's up to you. You got to know to do it. And that's when a lot of people stop doing it, is when they're too busy because they're working, trying to pay bills, or doing other things, not staying motivated. And I'm not judging you. I'm just talking openly about it, because the sooner in your life that you stop exercising, the earlier in your life you can't exercise. If you don't use it, you lose it, and you have to stay active. I hope that's useful to you. 再说我有平安，我知道 a lot of people don't understand what that even means. 我正在努力帮助，我不在乎你人在哪里。If you're a human, 我很乐意帮忙。对不起，我很忙，我必须去。和平。She'd like to know God inside of her, deep inside of her. Oh. Namaste, dostan. आपके दिन की सबीता मेरे दिन अच्छा था. Pelsi Bhagavan ka shukra hai. Are you fucked up yet? Mujhe pata. Main samajh chahta hun. Before I get started, I gotta put this thing down. I have to send a lot of respect and love to the hashtag Save Soil, hashtag Conscious Planet movement. It's very inspiring. Lots of great things going on there. If you haven't yet checked that out, I would highly encourage you to see what's going on with that. Again, healthy soil is important. When we die, we become the soil. We need to be healthy, not just for us, but for nature. It's not our rule. We didn't make up the rules of nature. We need to abide by them naturally. I'm currently working on a new multicultural conscious parent video. The purpose of this video is to explain to my viewers what qualifies me for the position. I don't expect you to just trust me. Thank you for your interest in conscious parenting, and thank you for consciously parenting your children into peaceful, loving human beings. Because we're all just human. Mujhe jana chahe. Aapka interest ka shukriya. Acha khao, acha mahsus karo. Sabhi ko shanti. Bhagwan ka shukra hai. Alvida. 上帝姐妹们你好，谢谢你的支持，我爱你们，我希望你一切都好，我的日子很好，我的疗法很棒，我爱蔡依林，谁都知道，她帮助我很多。I also did get to see my teenage son. We did a lot of talking and played some Super Nintendo. So I was working on the multicultural conscious parent video. But when that opportunity arose, everything got put on hold. I am getting tired now. If you have been able to follow my posts and took the time to follow my posts today, 谢谢你的时间. So one quick thing I want to throw on camera before I go to bed. Something that is happening and has been happening for me for years. Most people go to sleep and I'm up for about 2 or 3 hours working. And then I'm up and working for about 2 hours or so before the average people get back up that went to sleep before me. So in that, I'm getting about 2 extra hours of work out of every day at the start and ends. 因为我有平安。再说，天是一晚，我必须去。再次感谢你对我异乡的感受感兴趣，对所有人的和平与爱。再次感谢上帝，睡得好，晚安。Magandang umaga, kumusta ka? Mabuti ako, salamat, at salamat sa iyong interes. I have a good opportunity to spend a lot of time with my children today. So I will be absent from online or from the studio for the full duration of time I have with them. But I wanted to come online to pay respects to all those that have been following my posts. Mahal ko kayong lahat. But I have a lot I need to do this morning to prepare for them. Busy ako, kailangan ko nang umalis. Salamat sa iyong interes sa aking gawain sa buhay. Muli, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kumain ng mabuti at manatiling positibo. Kapayapaan at pagmamahal sa lahat. Salamat sa Diyos para sa araw na ito. Ingat! Hola de nuevo, hermanos y hermanas. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. Fue un gran día con mi hijo. Gracias a Dios por hoy y gracias por tu interés. I'm back in the World Peace studio for the evening and hoping to progress with my next multicultural conscious parent video. I would like to take this opportunity to once again thank all of the parents of the modernly bilingual languages that were comfortable with sharing their information with me in reference to maintaining bilingualism amongst the children. In my first multicultural conscious parent video, I introduced the concept and the need. You can see that on my YouTube channel, and I'll post a link on the comment section of this video. Therefore, the intention behind the second multicultural video is to explain to my viewers what qualifies me for the position, because I don't expect anybody to just trust me. De nuevo, estoy feliz de aprender y estoy feliz de ayudar. Estoy ocupado, sabes, tengo que ir. Gracias nuevamente por su interés. Paz, amor y positividad a todos. Muchas gracias a Dios de nuevo. Un amor, amigos. Hasta luego. Salve omnis. Efelistoyaton en dia feronchu. Espero que tu día esté yendo bien. World和平. Better than I thought it was going to be. Adivi Christodos Dice. And then when I got home from work, I was singing along with Petrus again. Petrus Amo. Are you a pet owner? I hope you're a responsible pet owner. That animal is depending on you. It's very common to have a dog or a cat, obviously. If you have a cat, something I would like for you to keep in mind is when cats eat in the wilderness, they eat things like mice and stuff. So in that, they get a lot of moisture from that food, and it's very common for the lack of moisture to make your cats more likely to be obese. Obesity amongst house cats is a big problem, and I feel like a lot of it links back to a lack of moisture. I'm not telling you to stop feeding them dry food, but I would really suggest a mix, maybe even a little bit of wet food here and there, or squeak it in as you can, but not leave it all dry. I would like for you to keep in mind the exact same effect can happen to humans if they don't have proper moisture and stuff in their food and their consumption. It can cause swelling. It's not restricted to cats. Now dogs got the name man's best friend for a reason. If you know how to properly take care of a dog, that dog is with you. It doesn't matter. I know it's hard on the patients, but I would encourage you to be strong with your patients when your dogs are barking. I do feel like if you scream and yell back at your dog to shut the fuck up when it's barking, I feel like from the dog's universe, you're just barking with him. He's going ruff, ruff, and you're going fuck, fuck, and he's going ruff, ruff, and you're going fuck, fuck, and he doesn't really know the difference. And you have to just have patience with your dog. De nuevo, your dog still needs moisture in its food and stuff. I'm just saying it's best if it's mixed for the animal's health, because I don't deal with anything but nature and health. And since I know human health, I can relate it over to so many different animals. I have had people take on the conscious food plan during its development. People from in their 20s, right up to people in their 60s. They did not know what each other was reporting, but they have all reported to me. I know I'm always on camera saying that you don't believe me and no one's going to believe me, but this is one thing that I don't think you're going to have any trouble believing. Everybody that took on my conscious food plan reported way more energy in under 2 weeks. They could credit it to the changes that they've made in their diet due to my suggestions. However, with all due respect to me, no one has been able to match my strictness or my longevity, and therefore, no one has my perspective on it. TNC Yuan, Muje Jana Chahi, Ganshi Ni Dui Wo Yi Shang da Ganzo Gan Xing Chu, Sai Se, Los Amo a Todos, Fria Doshe Lik de la La, Pelsi Bag Van Kushukrehe, Shui Da Hao, Bonum Noctis. Calimera Adelphia Chiadelphes, El Piso na Kimiti Kiskara, Ime Caros, e Felisto Politonte Yohia Simera, Simeras Butazo Alini Kikalosa, obviously, Ime Afto Didactos, Onisi Hoya Tontonomo, Aula Exero Ime Carlos Milonta Salinica, Exero Oti Den Catilivenis, Ala. Toa Chapo, when I speak Greek, Ine Diafoletico, there are 3 ancient languages that really resonate with me. Greek, Latin, and Mandarin. Me encanta hablar español, pero it's not ancient. I don't want to talk too much about language development this morning, but I would like to remind you that you don't need to be fluent to enjoy any language. Or develop language skills. Again, if you develop language skills in several languages, it still adds to your language maturity as an individual. Do you smoke cigarettes? You shouldn't. And I'm sorry if that upset you, but I don't feel like I'm telling you anything you don't know. I'm also not judging you. I do know how difficult it is. I have quit cigarettes. I remember getting really strong urges from the addiction leaving my body. And things would happen, like if a drawer wouldn't quite close, I would just slam it really hard and feel really aggressive, and I knew what was happening. Of all the products that are on the market, I feel like a large majority of people would agree that there's absolutely no justification to the cigarette. There is absolutely nothing that cigarette is doing to you, that if you actually realized what you were doing to your body, there's nothing that justifies smoking that cigarette. So that's my opinion. It's based on human health and nature only. Take it for what it is. And something else that I wanted to talk about but don't really want to put on camera, it ties into the cigarette thing. Do you drink alcohol? I've had a lot of problems with alcohol. And when I say that, you probably assume that means I suffered from alcoholism. I have not. However, I have had people in my life that have, and it has made a major difference in how they were able to treat me and how they were able to treat themselves. Alcohol, to me, is a lot like eating meat in that I don't care that you're doing it. I'm very confident I'm not going to do it. The reasons I would like you to be responsible about your meat consumption are the exact same reasons I want you to be responsible with your alcohol, and they're the exact same reasons I want you to quit smoking. I should have time to work on my multicultural conscious parent video today. Thanks to all showing interest in that. If I could just speak openly about it. I almost posted it, but there's just something not right about it, and I don't know what it is. So I don't know why, but I don't ignore my own tuitional and internal signals. So thanks again for those showing interest. Thank you for your patience. But now I'm going to go get to it. So, prepino figo. Aferisto yeton endia feron shu. Sa sakapo olus. Trote kalai kia parlamente isiodaxe. Elini ahabi kie thetiki analase olus. Doxata theokia pali. Indio yotora.
Kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living.
早上好，为这一天感谢上帝，谢谢你的关注。我希望你昨晚睡得很好，我很好。今天早上我在学习普通话，我知道我在进步，我可以很好的表达自己，但我只能说我能说的。我正在扩大词汇量，我的听力不好。我需要慢慢说才能理解。我感到沮丧，但我知道我需要时间。我有话要说，我需要我的学习表。没有人在乎我是白人，直到我说普通话，人或他们想让我看起来像旧人。我没有，我不能，我不会，但我会说普通话，为什么不？你会说英语吗？ Most likely， 我知道。感谢学习英语，问题是，我是加拿大的人，因为英语是我的母语。英语的人不喜欢学习语言，因为他们不必。我明白。我知道学普通话的人不多，学习普通话改变了我的生活。普通话的人帮助我，我想帮助普通话的人。Makes sense to me。我很高兴学习和我很乐意帮忙。对不起，做了大量的工作，除了说普通话的人，没有人听得懂。对普通话没有让人很痛，但他们不必在乎。我说，你今天有计划吗？我不知道我会怎么做。我知道我今晚必须工作，我必须去。感谢收听，谢谢你的关注，我爱你们。今天吃得好，保持乐观，度过美好的一天。对所有人的和平与爱，再次感谢上帝，再见。